Being a dentist is equal parts awesome, annoying, and exhausting. Talking Nachos is dedicating to helping you do three things: increase success, decrease stress, and reduce crying inside. I am broadcasting from our workspace at home. I'm doing dad duty, mom duty, all kinds of different duty. We're taking out our golden doodle and excited to be chatting with you guys, but that's why I'm here at our workspace. I do live just a few steps from Rittenhouse Square Park. So in April, we're having an amazing event with Dr. Lincoln Harris from Australia. He's coming all the way over to Philadelphia. We're going to learn about the business of dentistry, clinical dentistry, how to hire associates, how to do better, but most of all, fun, food, and new friends in Philadelphia. Talking Nachos is dedicated to helping you do better, and I'm ready for my first guest when my team is ready to bring them up on the screen. And I have Nick Stevens from JG Money, an awesome sponsor of the group. Nick, in kind of a snapshot way, you deal with dentists daily. What do you do to help them do better and decrease stress?
Well, we try to get away from the feel. A lot of times dentists will, say, oh, well, I'm profitable, but I don't know what that really means for me moving forward. And for us, we like to take the money side of it, anything involving with the number, kind of wrap it all together and kind of paint a picture about, okay, this is kind of where you stand. How can we then move forward from there? And then we will kind of guide you and work through it. And I think that's very important.
And you guys help people pay attention to numbers, because dentists, they will weigh their peanut butter so they don't eat too many calories. But when it comes to what they spend in their practice, they go, I'll just see how this fits. And have you seen them put too many calories into their practice on the expense side?
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time. And it's not that, so many things can get commingled. And what we're trying to do is trying to break everything down and really take the time to look at every invoice, look at everything on your practice side, all those numbers, all your financial sides. We call it our checks and balances, or the Bermuda Triangle is what we use it here. And then we kind of then come in and then say, no, you are actually spending X amount of dollars on this or that or whatever. And then from there, we can then have a conversation. Okay, this is where you stack up. Let's go ahead and see if we can, make a decision. I can hire another hygienist, I think, but I'm not really sure if I can, or give them a raise. That's a big one now. It seems like that's the trend that's going on Dental Nachos.
Yeah, and also it's like no one gets in a car for a long trip and go, I think I can make it there with this amount of gas. And I always explain gas is like the money in your practice. So you really remove the pain of figuring out monthly expenses. It can be demoralizing to be working at the end of the month saying, oh, I didn't make as much money as I thought. And at least you share the why with them. Tell us a little bit what it's like to work with you guys. People text JG to 215-543-6454. Do they sign up for a month? Do they sign up for a year? How does that work?
Well, we can cater to whatever they'd like, but they can work with us. They can reach out to me directly, either PM or on Facebook, because I am on Facebook. They can go to our website at jgmm.com, and then it has some links on there where you could reach out to me. But for us, we can start slow, whether if you just want a comprehensive review and say, hey, this is what I think I'm doing right. Can you just come in here and verify it for me? We can do that. Or we can go real large scale and we can go in and talk to your teams, work with you. And that's kind of what we enjoy the most, if we could, because I think we're always about trying to paint as much context as possible and, not trying to just make rash decisions just because of what we think.
I think it's great. I mean, you basically can outsource the financial stress to you guys. You could say, hey, outsource it to us. Yep. And you have the context. I think one of the things I like to share, you have the context, and we're going to talk to other guests here. You have the context of working with a lot of dentists, and most dentists just know their own practice. So they might think my expenses are out of whack when they're not. They might think my profit's great when it's not. And at least you can get them the right treatment plan. As we end, Nick, you're coming to Philadelphia in April to sponsor our event. What are you most looking forward to about doing in Philadelphia?
Actually, when I went up there, it was the first time I've actually been to Philadelphia. So I'm excited, obviously, to meet all the new dentists, but I have never really even explored Philadelphia. So I'm going to have to go.
We got the American Revolution Museum. We got George Washington's original tent down there. We have world-class restaurants. And here's this. When I go to California, people go, hey, Paul, it's 15 minutes if there's no traffic. And then it takes an hour. There's never once not been traffic. You come to Philadelphia, you walk, you Uber everywhere. It's so convenient. It's one of the greatest places on earth. So I can't wait to have you here. People can text JG to 215-543-6454 to learn more about Nick and your amazing, awesome mom who came up to see us. And I really appreciate your support of the group, Nick.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. So as you guys can see, someone can help you figure out the financial decisions in your practice. I'm ready for my next guest. So I have a fellow doctor, a medical doctor, Dr. Kenton, who has been an amazing supporter. And what they do at Doc to Doc Lending, I think, is truly the work of the Lord G.V. Black. Kenton, that's a famous dentist. I don't know, but you can use that. If you want to get in with dentists, you say we're doing the work of the Lord G.V. Black. They help dentists with money when they need it for the fun and what I call the effed up parts of life. So Kenton, you've been on numerous times, but people are watching for the first time. Just kind of give us a summary of what Doc to Doc Lending does.
Sure. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. It's great to be back. Doc to Doc Lending was founded on the premise that that dentists and physicians are more creditworthy than the traditional lending metrics lend to, and so we aim to reduce some of the stress associated with access to money when it comes to achieving personal and professional goals in the lives of doctors, and aim to be the source of that funding when it's needed. And we do that through our product, which is a personal loan that really can be used for whatever purpose there happens to be. You know, we do around this time of year, we do a lot of transitional costs for folks who are graduating fourth year dental school, getting on their feet in their practice in a high cost of living area, and need a little bit extra to make those transitions. So again, there's a myriad of use cases, but the overarching mission that we try to aim for is to allow easy access to capital at rates that accurately assess risk, which is frankly different and lower than the general population.
Love that, Ken. Let's do a couple fun speed rounds. So let's say I just got into a residency program and I have a $15,000 expense coming up, or I just signed a contract with a private practice dentist for a job and I have a $15,000 moving expense coming up. Can I reach out to Doc to get a loan?
Yes, and in fact, we're actively speaking with people almost on a daily basis for that exact reason, for those exact reasons this time of year. So, you know, we've designed this loan to be friendly, not just in the way that it's underwritten, but also in the fact that through the entire process of applying, there's no impact on your credit score. We do only a soft pull, so there's no deleterious effects for going through that application process. And then secondly, there's no prepayment penalties, but we underwrite that loan over a term of 5 years. And what that means is that by extending the payment plan over 5 years, it can not stress in the immediate term what the monthly payments will be. Those monthly payments are more affordable because it's stretched over that 5 years. But for folks who have every intention of paying them off, maybe they're waiting for a sign-on bonus to come through 90 days after they start their job. There's no downside to paying it off early.
So what you're telling me is if I'm a super type A plus dentist and I get my job and I have my $15,000 loan and I save over 3 months, I can pay it off with no prepayment penalty and be completed with the loan.
That's right. And, you know, in fact, we encourage it when it's possible to pay off.
Sounds super flexible.
Yeah.
What I'd like to bring up now, especially since you're coming to the April event, is Dr. Lincoln Harris has invented a training program. You're a doctor. You need to train, keep up your skills. So, you know, my team can put the text RIPE code to the same number. You can text RIP to this same number, 215-543-6454, where they're texting lending to. So what Lincoln and his team have done, Kenton, is they have made a worldwide training program that dentists can do from their operatories, from their own offices through WebEx. It's $25,000 for 2 years. So you might be a new dentist who doesn't have $25,000. You might be a practice owner that doesn't want to put $25,000 out right at this moment. Can you use Doc to Doc Lending to help you fund that training program?
Absolutely, and we have done that in the past for programs that are very similar, and you know where that is an important part of what you see yourself becoming professionally and obtaining that training. but the $20,000, $25,000 can be a stress point.
Yeah.
Again, we want to take that. We want to take that off the plate and make it affordable and make sense, but also make it friendly for if circumstances change. And like I said, you want to pay that off early.
Also, my last speed round question is: I'm going to buy a dental practice. I can get a loan for 100% financing, but the building is $300,000. I need $60,000 for a down payment. Can I go to Doc Lending so I can also buy this real estate?
Yeah. So we categorize that as gap financing, and that would be an example of a gap in the financing of a professional purchase where you know, the loan to value of the practice or loan to value of the real estate is such that you need to put a certain percentage down. And that percentage, if you don't have access to it, but have a really great opportunity sitting in front of you, absolutely. We offer loans as low as $5,000 up to $100,000. And it can.
I mean, and we have Nick on previously. You're going to hear from Ed next. I mean, this is all F stuff. You know, you help with the financing for fun stuff, for effed up stuff, for fundamental learning of your career. So, I mean, that's what you guys should be putting out there, because without you, there are dentists and dental nachos that would not be able to become a traveling surgeon. Without you, they wouldn't be able to have taken care of a life disaster that they didn't expect. And I just think it's so awesome that you guys exist. I think you guys are brilliant for creating this company. And I want to ask you the same question. What are you most looking forward to doing in Philadelphia when you're here?
You know, our company, Doc to Doc, is fully virtual. This background behind me is not it exists only in the metaverse.
Yeah, nice.
We have a strong Philly contingent, and they have not yet had the chance to host us the way some of us have had the chance to host them. So we have some great tour guides. I know there are some hidden spots within Philly that only people who live in Philly know about.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're looking forward to hitting as many as we can. So
awesome, Ken. Well, stick around behind the scenes. Thanks so much for sharing with us.
Thanks, Paul.
So as you guys see, we take someone who could help you outsource the stress of your daily practice finances. You can have someone help you with the fun and effed up things of life. I'm really excited for our next guest to join me on Talking Nachos here, who helps with the T word dentists talk about a lot: taxes, reducing taxes. Ed Lloyd, share with us what you do in this world of helping dentists with tax challenges.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. With our tax reduction strategies, we find that we rescue wasted tax dollars by an average of 40% of what dentists are paying on an annual basis. So we're able to increase their cash flow and their certainty at the end of the year when tax time comes around. It's not what's going to happen. We already know because we've already done the planning. We've already cut the taxes. The preparation is really just a formality for us. And fortunately for the client, it pulls their anxiety down from all of this, what's going to happen to me.
I love that. I mean, it sounds like you just get them more money for not doing anything different. Is that right? If you work with clients and said, hey, here, you're going to get an extra $20,000 back, and just this is what we can do for you different. I mean, am I following this right?
Yeah. So we'll come in, we'll do a tax plan, and we'll look at strategies for the client, and we'll help them implement those strategies so that they have a plan in place. And then we'll put them in one of our 3 monthly programs to where we're helping them during the year keep their taxes where they should be, make sure they're doing what they need to do to keep them down. And if there are any changes, we can adjust for it, keep up with their accounting, and help them with their CFO work.
Awesome. I mean, what are you finding? You know, I know you guys offer, if someone wanted to work with you and they say, my accountant just retired, or I just want another set of eyes on my tax returns, how does that work with you?
So we always do a second opinion for people. So we'll get the information. We'll look at it. We'll give them analysis. We'll let them know this is how much we can save you. This is your investment. If you want to move forward, we're ready to go.
Awesome. You've worked with dentists for a long time. And, you know, like my grandmother was right. We are very special. She told me it's very special. In a fun way, you know, what makes dentists kind of a unique business owner? You've been doing this for a while. Or what maybe, you know, if someone just bought a practice and thought it's just like running a bakery, it's a little different than running a bakery. Share with our audience some of your thoughts on that.
Well, it's interesting. A lot of the dentist personalities are somewhat tied to accounting personalities, just the type of person. So that relates to what I've done my entire life. But they look at, well, what's going on with the business, worry, of course, about personnel, and then they want the cash flow piece. So we help them with all those things so they know where they're going and help rescue those dollars so they don't just waste them. They can put the money to pay down debt, to be able to retire, to be able to go on vacation, whatever they want to use with that money. Our job is to help make them keep more of it.
Awesome. I mean, that dentistry, so I do a variety of businesses now. I also still am a dentist, and I do want to share authentically. When you are handcrafting your product in a patient's mouth, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of effort. And if you can be more profitable by saving on taxes, you should do that. You can do so many things with that extra money. You can donate it to charity. You could take a vacation. You could pay your team more. And I'm really glad to have you as a sponsor, Ed, sharing with our community how you do that. I know you can't come to Philadelphia because you're going to be in Mexico. I like Mexico dental nachos. But have you ever been to Philadelphia in the past?
I have been to Philadelphia.
All right, we have to catch us on another visit. We have world-class restaurants, museums, so much fun here.
It's a great place.
So birthplace of our nation. Ed, thanks for joining with us. Talking Nachos crew, you can bring Ed down. Another awesome show. Please just bring up the Link Harris thing. Text LINK, LINC, to 215-543-6454 to join us at the April event. We'll also get you connected with other events that we have this year. The whole purpose of Dental Nachos is 3 L's: learn, laugh, and be less annoyed together.